Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The title of my talk this afternoon is The Case for Omenana among the Igbo people. I have lived in America for 9 good years, and I have had the opportunity or privilege to travel to and through a few other countries. I have also had the extremely rare opportunity of studying religion at the highest level in one of the best universities in the world and with some of the greatest scholars of religion. And I beg to inform you that religion has not taken a backseat. Religion is still as present in the world in the most advanced countries as it is in the least developed countries. Whoever thinks that the age of religion has gone does not really know what religion means. And I have no apologies for making this statement. And by the way, most people in the world don't really know what religion means. What they assume religion to mean are a little bit of some of the things involved in the thing we call religion, like the organized forms of it, like the churches, the mosques, the synagogues, the obi, the temples. When people look and these things seem to be going out of fashion in societies, they think that religion has taken a backseat, but religion has not taken a backseat and is not set to disappear. I think that before religion will become something of the past, science, which people think will replace religion, may disappear. But since science is not going, religion is also not going, the best thing that would help humanity is for the two to find ways of collaborating. Okay, I will now proceed to the main basis for this talk. The only religion that match the history and the culture of the Igbo people is the one known as Omenana. There are many renegade Igbos today. There are many Igbos who engage in all sorts of things that an Igbo should not engage in. There are many Igbos who have said things that an Igbo should never say. But one thing every Igbo will agree on is that the traditional Igbo religion is called Omenana. Some lost Igbos may come up with the term Ordinana. I refer to them as lost Igbos because they cannot produce a single book that is 20 years old which mentions that Ordinana is the Igbo religion. But you would find books that are 50 years, songs that are 60 years, that say that the Igbo religion is Omenana. And by the way, Ordinana is a cognate term. You can still see how it's a wayward form of Omenana. So what am I trying to say? All Igbos, at least today, agree that the term or terminology or name for the Igbo religion is Omenana. But what most will not agree on, because most have not thought about it and nobody taught them, which means they could be blamed only to a point, is the position that every Igbo should be an adherent of Omenana. A lot of them could think that culture is dynamic, and that means that an Igbo person may decide to leave Omenana and become something else. And interestingly, most Igbos don't know that when they don't adhere to Omenana, that they stop being Igbos. Or at least full Igbos, because if they still say we are Igbos, if they still say we are Igbos, and they speak the Igbo language, and they can still point to somewhere in the southern part of Nigeria as the place they call their ancestral homeland, we can still say that 40% of their identity is still there. But they don't know that when they don't, because they don't know that when they don't adhere to the religion called the Omenana, they have lost part of their identity. But not all, because nobody has brought them the kind of information that I'm going to bring out to them now. Why does the very advanced country, Britain, advanced in the sense that it has technology and it has produced very great countries like the United States of America, why do they insist that if you are Catholic, you cannot be Prime Minister of England? I repeat what I said. This will come as a shock to every Igbo, because I've seen Igbos who say in the 21st century people are still talking about Omenana. Why does Britain, which produced the United States, produced Canada, why does it say you cannot be Prime Minister if you are Roman Catholic? Why does Spain say that you cannot be Protestant if you are not Roman Catholic? The Jewish people, as a single ethnic group, have produced more Nobel Peace Prize winners than any other group in the world. Why does it insist that you must be an adherent of Judaism before you can be a member of the Jewish community? India is not a minnow in science and technology, which some Igbos assume has replaced religion. What is Modi's greatest selling point? He is reminding the world and everybody that cares to visit India that Bharat, that's the ancient name for India, is a Hindu country. Why do all the Arab countries insist on Islam being a state religion? Why do you find the cross on the flag of almost all European countries if religion is gone? Why did Ukraine, a world leader in science and technology, insist on coming up with Ukrainian Orthodox Church? Why is almost every country in Europe, why do almost all of them have their state religions? Why, what makes a Yoruba Muslim and a Yoruba Christian to marry and there will be no tensions in the marriage? Because the Yorubas, because of their colonial experience, have been able to subordinate Christianity and Islam and make them simply servant religions under the Yoruba religion. There is no imam or pastor in the world, and by the way, the Igbo pastors are fit just to be servants to the Yoruba pastors, even though the Igbo Christian population is much more than the Yoruba Christian population. But these heavyweight Yoruba pastors don't look at their traditional rulers, who are the head of the Yoruba religion. They don't look them in the face. They kneel down, and these Yoruba kings, who are, by the way, God men in Yoruba tradition, the kings are also gods. They are the head of the religion, just like Prince or King Charles is the head of the English religion today. These Yoruba, heavyweight Yoruba pastors kneel down, and these their traditional rulers place their hands on their heads and pray for them, because the Yoruba religion remains the dominant religion in Yoruba culture, unlike in the Igbo case. The Igbo religion is a despised religion by the Igbos. The people who are supposed to lead religion in the Igbo community today are the oldest men. Wherever you find an Igbo community gathered, the person who is supposed to lead them in prayer is the oldest man, but this has been thrown overboard because the Igbo people were decultured by the British Empire. When you are decultured, what happens to you is that you become like a HIV victim. That's the situation we find the Igbo people today. Their religion and their culture, Omenana, were shoved aside and replaced with Christianity. And when Nigeria took over, Nigeria elevated Christianity and Islam as the official religions. And it's a talk for another day, but most Igbos are not aware. Most of Igbos are not aware that Christianity and Islam are not too different from the traditional religions of other Nigerians and completely different from the Igbo religion. But a few examples could help to open the eyes of all Igbos. In the traditional Yoruba religion, the Oba is a king and a god as well. What is Christ in the Christian religion? He's a god, he's a man, he's a king. Igbos are not aware of all this. So what is happening is, they do not know that without Omenana, they can only dream about reorganizing their society. And they are gradually becoming used to the idea that chaos and disorder, the chaos and disorder that the Igbos face today, are natural. Because that is what almost every Igbo is born into. Almost no Igbo today, outside myself and the Omenana defenders, recognize that buying and selling, trading, was not the primary Igbo profession. The primary Igbo profession was farming. The Igbos were a stay-at-home people, a stay-on-the-land people. 100 years ago, every Igbo was in Igbo land farming. They were not looking for other lands to go and occupy the streets selling things, making themselves vulnerable to attacks. But since this has been the situation since 100 years, I've seen Igbos saying that by nature we are traders. No. Persecution, oppression turned them into the roadside traders. So likewise, chaos and disorder, failure have started becoming what they know. That's what they know to be their culture. For example, how many Igbos outside myself and the Omenana defenders recognize that in Nigeria, by luck, by cleverness, the Yorubas managed to get Nigeria by luck and by whatever, by maybe their cleverness, to convince, to turn Nigerians into believing that a part of Yoruba land, Lagos, is a Mecca. Millions of Igbos will do everything to have representation, to have a presence in Lagos, more than even in Igbo land. Northern Nigeria is dominated by the House of Fulani. Abuja is a part of northern Nigeria. It's also a Mecca for Igbos. Which part of Igbo land is a Mecca for all Nigerians? If a Nigerian wants to set up a business, an industry, a law firm, a hospital, if a Nigerian who is not Igbo wants to set up a hospital, a law firm, an industry, does he think of doing it in Igbo land? No. He thinks of Lagos or Abuja. Igbos don't think about things like this. And I repeat, other Nigerians like the Yorubas and the House of Fulanis have, by luck and by cleverness, managed to get their own portions of their own land to be the Mecca of Nigeria, or in Nigeria. It is not happening with Igbos, and the Igbos don't know why it is happening, and majority don't even think that it is odd that if any group outside themselves are interested in Igbo land, they are interested in portions of Igbo land, not to set up industries, not to set up law firms and hospitals, but they want to get portions of the land for purposes that are totally strange and inimical to Igbo safety and well-being. And they don't even want to pay. These Igbos you find all over Nigeria flocking to the lands of others. buy the lands, buy the spaces. But those non-Igbos interested in Igbo land for purposes that are inimical to the Igbos are not interested in even buying. And Igbos are not seeing the linkages between this connection from Omenana and their present situation. Because having been disconnected from their own religion, they do not even place value on themselves and on their land anymore. The Jews could stay in their ancestral homeland because they have a religion that tells them, this is our ancestral homeland. In spite of the pressures placed on them to stop saying that, they know that the pressures could not be coming from truth, because the Bible, which says it, is one of the oldest documents in the world, and it says, the people of Israel, this is your land. So people disputing it should find older documents that say the land does not belong to the Jews. I don't even want to say that the land is also the ancestral homeland of the Igbo people, because Igbos have left the religion which could be telling them that Igbo land is their land. That is why the Igbos could abandon the land, allow it to become desolate and a place that is only fit for Igbos to live today, to migrate from, to become dangerous, because they left the religion that could be telling them, that should be telling them, this is the land, value it. All of you will be buried in it. So, what am I saying? Igbo people, there is no future worthy of being called a future without a return to what I would call now authentic Israelite biblical Omenana. I have a reason for developing this term. Even though Omenana is to be found in the Bible as the name God called the religion of Israel, most Igbos don't read the Bible, or because they don't read the Bible, they don't go to Deuteronomy 6:1, translate it to Igbo to see Menana. And because a lot of Igbos engage in pure criminality and evil and say that they are doing Omenana, so those of us in Omenana defenders prefer to use the term now, authentic biblical Omenana, by authentic Israelite biblical Omenana, to convince those that have not passed the point of no return that anything an Igbo is doing today that is contrary to the Hebrew Bible is not Omenana. The Igbo is simply engaging in crime and atrocities and abomination. Omenana is pure and holy. It was the first religion that gave women a protected status. It was the only religion that said the slave take one day out of every week as a free day. Fortunately, an European was the first person that wrote this, because the Igbos hate their ancestors to the extent today that if an Igbo man had made this claim, if an Igbo man had been the first person to commit it to writing, there will be found Igbos today who will be saying it's a lie. It was Omenana that made the Osu a priest. How many Igbos today know that the Osu is a biblical tradition? But at least Igbos over 40 or 50 would know that somebody becomes an Osu if he runs to what they call the shrine. And when they say shrine, they don't think of the Catholic shrine, they think of the not maintained shrines of the Igbo religion. Well, the Israelite religion says in the Bible, if an Israelite runs into the shrine, he becomes inviolate, he becomes inviolable. You cannot go there to arrest him, to mistreat him. At least every Igbo knows that people became Osu when they ran into the shrines. And here is the Israelite religion repeating the same thing in the Bible. The Omenana was the first religion that says this person should also become part of the priesthood. But when you find some people on YouTube, on Reel, on Facebook today, perpetrating atrocities and saying that they are doing Omenana, people who cannot investigate further get thrown off the trail of what is real Omenana. So we at Omenana Defenders are saying, if you want to do Omenana, do authentic Israelite biblical Omenana, so that we would be clear, so that people will be clear about what is Omenana and what is not Omenana. And I will close this video by telling Igbo people, if there is going to be a future, there must be a return to Omenana. And we understand that this is going to take time. People have gone in all sorts of different wrong ways. So it's going to take time. It's going to be a gradual process for people to return. But the first step is acknowledge that the Igbos have a religion and it is called Omenana. If you need further assistance, reach out to members of Omenana Defenders. They are charged to defend the Igbo people, and it is their responsibility to point every interested person in the right direction. On this note, I pray whatever you have in your mind that is good, that is holy, may the Lord Chukwu bless it and keep us all healthy, all of us healthy and alive. Thank you.